Hello guys, happy weekend or weekdays if you're viewing this during weekdays. Today I'm actually going to do a simple review of Huawei P30 Pro. This is a unit that was lent by my sister to me, so I took this opportunity to do a simple review for her new phone. As you can see from the backplate itself, this is very shiny and glossy. It even reflects myself and as well as the camera. I'm going to show this is actually a P30 Pro, as you can see there. And I believe this is actually running on Huawei Kirin 980. And this is, I believe, if not the last of the flagship phone, or the second last, or it's not, if not the last of flagship phone, it's going to be the second or third last of the Huawei phone that is running on Google mobile services. I believe the Mate 30 is not having any, hence why she did not buy that particular phone. So straight off the bench, I'm going to do a simple NT2 benchmark test, which is, a standard test for almost all smartphone. So here we go. I'm just showing this as to showcase the power of the graphic. Of course, we'll skip to the result of the test straight away. So here we are at the final score. This is the score for Huawei P30 Pro, and these are the details. And it does feel very slightly warm, but nothing too much to be afraid of. And the other parts are okay. So this is how good this phone is. And I see even the greatest graphic intensive game, this phone is still able to run with this very slightly warm temperature at its back. Nothing to be worried about much. Also, as you can see, in regards to the display of this phone, it still has the dreaded notch. I was wondering why the previous Mate 20 has a bigger notch. Personally, I think Mate 20 notch and also iPhone's notch is actually better, although people tend to say that they can achieve a teardrop notch whatsoever, but I think the purpose of the notch is to have some camera depth sensor whatsoever. But even for this one slit of front facing camera, this is a 32 megapixel camera, by the way. It looks good. So even for this, it doesn't, personally I don't think it's a great evolution in terms of notch. Maybe in terms of teardrop, OnePlus 60, OnePlus 7 does it better, the teardrop notch. But for this one, if you can see, there's actually no speaker slit over here. So this is a purely bottom firing speaker with a USB-C connector. Of course, we are moving to USB-C, and of course, no headphone jack whatsoever. And I have to say, even though it's actually a single bottom firing speaker, the speaker is very good, sounded very good. I'll try to do another review of the speaker itself, and have you try to compare it for your own ear. Of course, maybe the microphone doesn't do much justice, but the speaker itself is very loud. This is for me, one of the most important thing in a smartphone is actually having a front-facing speaker. But even without a front-facing speaker, it's actually very good. This speaker is. Of course, since this camera comes with a notch, you can always have the ability to turn it on and off. Yes, sorry. But the funny part of it is, you see the notch is kind of a teardrop, but the default one is showing like like most phones will have a smaller notch, but of course you can hide it, turn it off as you would like. This phone does have always on display, and you can schedule it when you want it, all day or just some time. So see, it is like this. Also, on the fact that I wanted to mention just now, on the sound, the speaker does come with Dolby Atmos. I was wondering how can they achieve Dolby Atmos with just one bottom firing speaker. We'll see about this. I'm not sure whether we actually need to plug in a headphone for this, but of course it needs a dongle. This thing comes with a dongle for USB-C. So, but we're going to test on the speaker itself later on a separate video of mine. Also, I'd like to stress this camera comes with, I think, up to 4 cameras. This phone comes with 4 cameras, 4 lenses, and they are very good in terms of the maneuverability of the camera itself. I'll show you in a bit. And moving into the picture itself, as you see, this is a photo mode, and we're going to use this as a test subject for our photo shoot. There's actually only 4 modes for you to choose from, and if you want to use the full screen, I think this is 18:9. For sure this is not 16:9, and for you to achieve the full megapixel count, it's going to be 4:3 aspect ratio at 40 megapixel and 10 megapixel. The next one on the list will be 7 megapixel. This is actually for Insta shot. Well, the megapixel doesn't count much as long as you know the quality doesn't look good. So this is, and the good part of it is you can utilize all the whole lens for it. You see, we start off with the normal standard camera, then we have the wide angle camera, and then we have the telephoto 5 times zoom, and then the 10 times zoom. As you can see, it actually moves very slow. I doubt this is an optical zoom, but well, you cannot even see anything. But of course, maybe this is meant for something to be scoped at a far away distance. And I actually like one thing about this camera. Of course, as you guys know, that this camera does come with a Pro. A Huawei camera almost always comes with a Pro version. This is a very good thing you can control about it, and I think it's actually limited per lens. Of course, the best one should be at the 1 time zoom. And let's move on to the thing that I want to show you just now, which is actually the super macro mode. This is one thing that I find very interesting for a camera like this, to have a macro mode. Let's go as close as we can get here. As you can see, quartz, the word quartz written over here, and we're like literally in front of the glass of the watch, so you can see here. And the best part about this is actually you can actually switch it to super wide, and you can still get the same quality picture. You see, this is at the very front of the clock itself. It actually blurs the thing beside the focus of this lens, but overall doesn't distort it that much. At this angle, you can see, let's go at the very front. You can see if you move it a bit further from the word quartz, it becomes blur, but when you move it very close, it becomes sharp. The same goes for the wide lens. So this is one feature about this. Camera that I like. Of course, I'll try to share those picture samples to you for you to judge it by your own eyes. One more thing that I would like to bring your attention is at the portrait mode. As per the photo mode, we can have the resolution for 4 kinds of resolution, but most of them is 4:3. But if you can see on the portrait mode, the resolution is only limited to 3, and it can go up to 40 megapixel. You got 4:3 at 10 megapixel, square, I mean 1:1 square for instant shot at 7 megapixel, and also full screen only at 6 megapixel. Of course, they're going to use the other lens for portrait bokeh effect whatsoever, but it's only limited to only that particular resolution that I showed just now. Okay, another aspect that I would like to highlight this camera is actually its video capability. The resolution actually can go as low as normal HD 720p at 16:9 all the way to 4K. You can see the letterbox shown for this kind of HD, and it actually can go all the way up to 4K, but 4K is actually at 30 frames per second. Most 4K does this, and this 4K is actually on 16:9. But as you can see in the resolution list over here, we can go to 21:9. This is actually the aspect ratio for cinema, so you can have cinema like aspect ratio for this camera, which is actually quite good. I don't see any other camera does 21:9. They either always go to the aspect ratio of the phone itself, and also the widescreen aspect ratio, and of course even lower than this, which is 4:3. So I say the resolution for the video quite awesome. It can go up to 4K, and also it limits at 16:9 at 720p, meaning this camera will not tolerate something lower than HD. You see? Another excellent feature for this phone is the ability for dual view. What is dual view? They actually use both lenses on one single display. I'm not sure which lens you're using. Let's have a look. Oh, it's on this side. Okay, it's actually the top lens. They're using the top lens for the top. Okay, it's actually the second lens. Yeah, as you can see, second lens for the top view, and the bottom view is actually on the topmost lens. You can have two types of lens being used. Or maybe, I'm not sure why you're going to use this, but maybe, yeah, it is only limited to just one resolution. I'm not sure why you're going to use this, but at least on the top one you can actually zoom in and out. You can go up to 15, but of course most of the images will break, and it's going to be digital zoom from 5 times after. Overall, I'll say this phone is very sleek. It's actually, if you take a look from the behind without a closer look on the Leica logo and also on the Huawei logo, you can actually mistaken it for a Note 10. So that's what I see in the first place. It looks like a Note 10, but when you see, at least when you see this Leica, you're sure it's going to be a Huawei phone, because I think Huawei only goes with Leica for their partnership and everything. This is a sleek phone, a great phone, and I say if you have the money for it, go for it. And that's pretty much it, I say. So yeah guys, so that's it from me for today. Enjoy yourself. Have a great day. Bye.